Going live.
We'll probably be live in about when it goes halfway through the bar. Set up your meeting for YouTube Live. So maybe like in five, four,
What's the link?
three.
I think it's going to come up in, yeah, whenever.
Oh, okay.
We're
Yeah.
live. Now you
Yeah,
have
we're live.
we're live.
We got Tracker, we got Matt, we got Mal here. We are
Meow
live.
meow.
Meow
Meow
meow.
meow.
Meow meow. Let me see.
Guai guai guai
Yeah.
meow meow.
Yes. 我是乖乖猫猫.
Yes.
Yes. Let me see. We
Hello,
are
everybody. This is the Tesla Tracker, and we'll let the Cantonese cat actually start the show off. I'm just the pre-show warm-up.
no, 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 no. You don't want that. I want Matt to start the show. If he wants to talk about
Oh,
SoFi,
yeah,
I
yeah,
want
yeah.
to
Let's let
talk
Matt show
about
the
SoFi.
show.
He said it's going to drop down lower, so I want to see it.
Okay, take
All
it away,
right.
Matt.
I can
This
pull up my chart here.
Woohoo! We can see your chart. I see a SoFi.
Yeah, my chart.
and I
All
see
right.
SoFi. Yeah,
So
yeah, I
should we
do.
get started or wait a few? Okay, so here's
Go
the
for it.
SoFi right here.
Yep.
And so we have it pulled up on the weekly chart, and I have the angles pulled up here. And give me 1 second.
Those blasted
Okay,
Eagles.
so
Yeah.
All right, so there's the angles. And yeah, so the case that I see is kind of dropping a little bit further, and
Yeah.
mainly because like it depends on this weekly close. Like so far, this candle still hasn't really closed below this wick, so it still really hasn't made a lower low yet. But this weekly candle could be that close below. And if it does close below this wick, then I see possibly going down to the red or even down to the purple into like the 530s possibly for maybe like a retest of this like demand zone around here in the past, right? So basically when we also turn on the Ichimoku here
Yeah.
on the weekly chart, I don't know if you want me to do the monthly chart, Cat, but
Oh,
the
he
weekly
always wants
chart's
you to do
still
about
not
the
looking
chart.
really that good at all.
Yeah.
Well, the
Yeah.
weekly chart is just, it can't get above the conversion line at all. It keeps getting rejected hard. And it was pretty obvious here when it tried, and it matched like the orange angle resistance as well. So it was a confluence right there. And essentially, there's really no strength at all in this stock yet. And when we go on log scale, I think it shows even more telling
Yeah.
what's happening. And that is the orange angle could be the magnet below. And you can see it rejected the orange level up here twice, once, twice. So that kind of means once it lost this angle, like this might be a target down in like the 590s before any kind of bounce, or even down to the gray into the 550s or so, which
Yeah.
would be a back test of this range right here.
Yeah.
You know what I
So
see
nothing really bullish at all about it. Yeah.
when I look at
What do
it?
you see, Steve?
Just those last two sets of consolidations, it looks like Tesla stock. There's like these two sets of consolidation waves.
Yeah.
Consolidate, can't get any lower, runs back up, except of course in this case, Tesla never double bottomed. It never made a new lower low.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's like two consolidation waves back to back. Still looking for a
Yeah.
bottom.
So I mean, it's still looking like it could be like a higher low from here, like which is good, but
Yep,
that's still
yep.
quite a ways to fall. Like even if it goes all the way down these angles and stuff like that. I mean, going back down to the fours would be kind of ugly, but I don't really see that yet, at least like one level at a time, right? So the first support should bounce a little bit from here. We'll see what happens. And then if that can't hold, then lower and lower. But so far, there's really no momentum for SoFi.
I've got a SoFi chart to
Anybody?
share if you want to see it.
Blast it. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Go for it.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, let me stop sharing.
Tracker. Oh,
So
oh, okay.
it's an upside down Gantt chart. Look at
Upside down again. Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
We're just trying to we're looking for a bottom here. I did say, look, if 630 could hold a
Yeah.
support, this is what it could look like. So if we don't get any lower lows, then it could do the sort of recovery. I call this the fish hook because even when it's done, it doesn't have a higher high than the all-time high. It's just trying to recover its old glory here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in a consolidation pattern, and if it goes a little lower, it just kind of moves this by a little bit here. Actually, it's funny how, yeah, it just moves it by like less than $1 if it goes down a little bit. There we go, 630. I think that's all I had. And then let's see, here's the Ichimoku pattern. Oh, it's not even showing me anything on the monthly, not enough data for the monthly chart. Here's the weekly chart. So yeah, like as you said, we kind of fell through the Ichimoku cloud, and we've got red in the future. I'm learning all these things from Matt Speed. They're like, oh, it's red over here. It doesn't look good. We're above the lagging span here in the super dark black. That's still kind of bearish. And then this fantastic tool that we've got down here, turtle trading tool, it just doesn't, I can't read these. I have to like always do a tiny little screenshot and pull it up. As you can see, there's still too much retail participation. You obviously could just look at this and see too much retail. The whales are kind of, the bankers are staying out of it. That's all I got to say for SOFI for now. Just if this could hold, then we could get all of this, but otherwise it might just keep looking a little bit lower. That's it. That's me for me for SOFI. I'll throw it back to Matt or Kat.
You want to go, Kat, or do you not have much to say
Yeah,
about
no,
it?
I'll go. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
all ready. He's got it all.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it up. Yeah, you all SoFi bears. No, I'm just kidding. It's I mean, to be completely honest with you, like I agree. Like right now, there's really no momentum. Just looking at the monthly chart for SoFi, I'm just gonna go for the bearish case, like but the bearish things I'm seeing, and I'm gonna go for like what I'm seeing that's bullish, right? Because this is a stock that I've really been buying like throughout the entire cup down here, and I've also really been like kind of DCing all along, right? There's some stocks that I chase momentum. There's some stocks that I find to be like good entry levels, technically speaking, and SoFi is like one of those that I still actually it's like a combination of like fundamental and technicals for me. I think the technicals so far is getting to the point that we're maybe nearing the bottom range, or for this range we potentially break, right? Like it doesn't always have to hold. It can wick down lower, trying to grab some liquidity down below, kind of like what Bitfarms did. If I pull up the Bitfarms chart down over here, whoops, let me hide that crap right there. If you look at the Bitfarm chart, like you can certainly see you can range up higher and lower, right? Like you can have these kind of expanded flat kind of thing going on, and you can go down a lot lower to try and grab some liquidity before going up, right? So that could be something that I might be seeing in terms of what SoFi is doing. You can look at Riot. Riot basically have a very similar chart right now to SoFi. Like not much is really happening, right? And so technically speaking, I think like Matt, I don't think you're too favorable on Riot either. So that's what I kind of want to see with SoFi. If you look at the monthly Ichimoku, you did have a bullish cross, but things are like way underneath the conversion and baseline, so it's still not favorable. You have a lot of resistance up above. If you look at the weekly, just like guys are saying, it's below the cloud. It's have a hard time getting above the conversion line, right? So I'm gonna go for, like these are pretty obvious bearish things to look at. And also if you just look at a Bollinger Band, like it looks like it's expanding a little bit, but price going down, right? So it could go down lower, right? I agree with you. I'm seeing all these things that you guys are seeing. I'm not entirely delusional though. I'm just thinking that if I'm keep on DCing right now, I'm buying a falling knife, but I think that we're closer to the bottom than we are to the top. And I think we're closer to the bottom of the range than we are at the top of the range. So right now my cost average is like in the low sevens. I'm okay keep on buying down to 6 and 5s. Like that doesn't really bother me because I still think that there's probably maybe even potentially even a lower downside to go, but the sentiment is like just absolutely horrible. So I mean I don't know. Like it's underneath the buying support band. Like all this stuff is pretty negative, right? I don't know, but I'll show you a few things that I think is bullish about it. Instead of just kind of talking about bears and just kind of agreeing with you all what I'm seeing. So one thing that I'm kind of a little bit bullish about it, and it's not going to be NCDX because the wells are not in. The very interesting thing here is, again, is stuck in a range, right? Like it's the top of range right here is maybe like around $10, right? And the bottom of the range may be closer to like, down here around like six, around somewhere around here, right? So if we're only getting close to the bottom of the range over here, we could go down lower to grab liquidity. That's certainly entirely possible. But I just tend to, even though the indicator is not showing it, I still tend to lean a little bit more bullish when it's at the bottom of the range, right? I think it's a reasonable thing to do, technically speaking. Another thing and there's no guarantee the range is going to hold, right? But like I think I get more bullish at support than I do at resistance, right? The other thing to kind of consider, if you look at a monthly chart, I just think that you cannot really ignore this big giant hammer candle over here. You know what I mean? Like in May of 2023, like there's a lot of buying that ended up happening over here. There's significant demand down here that has been tested underneath this range over here. And it bounced very convincingly, it bounced very powerfully all the way from like the $4 zone all the way to like, like $7. Like this is no joke, right? And then over here, before it bounced like that, it had like a little bit of rising three kind of pattern to it, right? 1, 2, 3, and then it just bounced like crazy, right? So about a year ago, about almost exactly about a year ago, somebody really wanted to get into SoFi, right? And then after all, like, and when it pumped all the way up too fast to like $12, I think like people were just starting to dump the stocks like way too fast, way too high, way too fast, right? So they ended up dumping the stock, and it's just been going sideways, and maybe like a little bit of a downtrend here for like a whole year. But the whole thing is, you look at the sell volume, like the sell volume has been declining during this downtrend.
Yeah.
And the other thing to kind of consider is that even though price has actually made a high compared to when it was down here around like January 2023, price has made a high. You have something called the unbalanced volume over here that you can track. And the unbalanced volume is basically telling you, hey, is the price movement going along together with the volume? Because unbalanced volume is basically a way to use these volume bars here to kind of calculate whether or not you have anything that's kind of hidden that you're not seeing. For example, if you have this big giant down volume bar right here, like a red bar over here, big volume, you expect price to go down a lot, right? But it didn't. It just ended up going down. It's still being engulfed by the candle before that, right? And over here is a big giant volume candle over here, right? You imagine price would go down a lot, but it didn't. So and the same thing over here, you see big giant volume bar over here, which is red volume, right? You expect it to go down a lot, but it didn't, right? So there's a little bit of a divergence over here. So what we're now seeing here is I actually see a bullish divergence going from here to here where price went up, but you actually see the unbalanced volume actually gone down. That's a hidden bullish divergence that I'm seeing. So there's actually some buying pressure behind the scene that are hidden. They're designed to make retail to be bored about it. And if you look at like the institutional accumulation on fintel.io, it's been going up. Like, what is this? I mean, granted, if you look at like, a lot of this is like Vanguard, they actually have about close to like 8.5% ownership. You do have a lot of these kind of like index funds that buy like, that are not index funds, these are like mutual funds that are buying, but you also have like some actual institutions that are buying too. So I don't know, like there's something that's a little bit off about this that actually makes me a little bit more bullish at the closer to the bottom of the range over here. Plus, I think that IWM, there's nothing bearish about the chart, as Matt was saying. Plus, I think rates seem to be topping and looks exhausted. Plus, there's increasing global liquidity that's coming. So that's my case.
But there's still 10 days left though for this current month to have a wick just like the other wick, and then maybe still close above. So
I doubt it, man. Like I wouldn't. I'm not that delusional. I might be a delusional SoFi bull, but I'm not that delusional.
No, but it could. But no, the current monthly wick could wick down a little bit and still like test like the lower range, and then maybe close back up in that range. That's what I'm saying.
I actually would love it if it's able to tap down to use that as a spring to bounce up. I actually would love it. But so far, it's just been like there are two ways to bottom, right? Way number one is you have big giant volume, like it did over here, to push price up, right? And there's also another way to bottom, which is like basically volume just exhausted. Like there's no seller left. That's also another way to the bottom, right? So I think we might be entering the second scenario where they're just like the seller is just like completely exhausted, and the and the institutions like they've done their like whatever they want to do, So that's kind of what I'm thinking with SoFi. So I'm still buying this on a weekly basis. I don't care if it goes down to like fives and six. I still think that it's still closer to the bottom than the top. So I rest my case.
Make a hell of a one
All right.
too. Like I said, if 630
Well, if you
held, they go up to 2407,
Yeah.
and if it fell like a
Yeah.
dollar, it would still get to like 2307.
It could be. I mean, like if your daily wave works out, I think that 14, like somewhere around 13 and a half to 14 and a half is going to be a pretty big resistance zone because of the because of how it was previous support for a long time. So I think it's probably going to, take some time to even get up there. And then when you get up there to like 13, 14, it's going to be, like you said, like ranging with your elite waves. So anyway, let's talk about Robinhood. Thank you for pulling it up, Matt.
Oh, sure, Robinhood.
yeah. So here's my Robinhood. I have it pulled up. And so this is linear scale here. And we'll start with this 45-degree angle right here. And it's been like oscillating back and forth recently, but it was resistance for a long time. But now it looks like it's finally support. But as you can see, this is the first level and it's finally getting rejected there many weeks in a row. So it could be a possibility to come back down and retest it at some point before it continues higher. And if we put on the Ichimoku here, right here, we can see that the conversion line sits around 2025. So there is some possibility for it to at least come down there, maybe go sideways, and then finally go to the 45 sometime in the future. But it looks like it's not ready to break out of this range yet, just because it's been all these wicks above this here. And even like this current week is still getting rejected by that level. And when we go to the log scale version of it, it looks really bullish.
Show the lock, show the lock, show the lock, show the lock.
So here's the log, and there's the same 45, and there's it's now on the top side of it, which is a really good indicator. But we said on the other screen on linear scale that possibly the 19 or the 20s could come, which would be really the orange arc again. So there is a possibility of breaking through this 45 because it's done it many times, go up and down through the 45 the whole time. So it's not really that solid of a support. It's just a range, which means it could come back down here, retest this level to continue up. But the first level does sit around 31. So that would be my ultimate target for the shorter term for this log scale chart. But yeah, overall, it's a bullish chart, but it doesn't look like it's really ready to break out of this range yet.
Yeah, and you're so efficient.
Yeah, that's all I got now.
You're done? Oh, okay. I guess we have to finish. No.
Here,
Try
I'll,
to go.
you want to go? I got
Yeah.
something for you.
Go for it.
Okay, here's Robinhood. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Am I up? Okay. So first off, see, I'm trying to be like Matsby and like be all organized. And here's all the stocks we're going to talk about for the show here. Like, woohoo, organized.
I love an organized tracker.
I know. Not just winging it today.
No, it's
So it
awesome.
looks like Matsby's got. I did again. My GAN's much smaller. Actually, let's just do the clean version here.
It's not that
yeah,
small.
I've got I started way back here. My
Yeah.
wave one starts back
Yeah.
there. No, actually, no. I want to try something different. I started the wave one here, and then wave start, wave one, wave two, because this makes a really nice 764 top. It just got a little bit above that. So this charting, as I've got it drawn here, I think I picked this because the V volume weighted. Yeah, look, oh no. Anyway, one version of this, I had it right on the point of control of the vertical visible range volume profile. But Yeah, after a 1-2 here, it makes a nice 764 rate. It just got a little higher. This would have predicted 24.28, but I'm sorry, it would have predicted 23.98 and it got 24.28. And so the next prediction based on this would be 2010 for support for the wave two of the minor two of wave three.
Mhm.
And then all of wave three, this is the wave five of three, get you to 30.26,
Mhm.
26.38 for wave four. And then the 2382 up here at 40.42.
Yeah.
And I already charted like what a corrective ABC down might look like, but we'll see. One crime at a time, as my wife likes to tell me. If the two's got a hold, then we'll get the three, and the four's
Yeah.
got a hold, and then we can get the five. And that's me and Robinhood. And you can see, oh, the MCDX. That's so nice. I really like this tool a lot.
Yeah. No,
Cat turned me on to.
yeah, it's really it's the same it's really the same data that Danny has too, like with the MCDX plus.
So here we're on the weekly chart, and there's like the retails are completely dwarfed by 88%. It's just, it's on a bullish
Yeah.
tear. And so it should, it almost, sometimes I see these things, almost feels like it pre-tests the support. Like, actually, I could do this. I could say, let's get in here. Gotta unlock here. There we go. Unlock that. And my bar is in the way. So what if that was all the one,
Mm-hmm.
and this was all the two, and it's already
Ooh.
on its way? Let's see if it pans out. I get a little closer. Oh my gosh, it's the same candle.
Yeah, it's the same candle. Not sure.
Wow.
That wouldn't.
Wow,
Yeah, that's a big candle
that
there.
was quite a moment. Look, it just all happened at once. This is no wait, that can't be right.
Thing. Yeah, no,
Oh,
it's
okay.
yeah, it's not.
Yeah. Look, this could be it. That could be the wave one top.
Mm-hmm.
And oh no, it's still to retest the 382.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it almost feels like it'll pre-test it backwards in time and then say, okay,
And
we
they
did
just
we did
go,
enough there, and
huh,
it'll just keep going up.
interesting.
Anyway, it may or may not retest 2010, but
Yeah.
by the numbers, paint by the numbers, it should, and then let it go higher to 30.26.
Yeah.
And that's me on that.
Okay.
So
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I share your sentiments, gentlemen. And basically, I mean, you rarely show the MCDX, the wells are in. The whole point though, like you're saying, Matt, you're saying that it's kind of on the linear chart is kind of hitting resistance. I mean, you can see that clearly with these wicks up here. That's a pretty bearish
Yeah.
candle right there. Like,
yeah,
it's a pretty bearish candle right there. Like it's a very, very toppy candle right there. So would it go back down and test 20 and back test this, breakout of this resistance zone as support? Sure. I mean, that's certainly an entire possibility. You have the buying volume over here that's been declining for weeks. And you have this bearish candle over here. Yeah, there could be a little bit of downtrend before going up further. I can see that. Doesn't mean that Bitcoin and altcoins are going to go down lower before going up higher. It's possible. But look at the monthly. Like there are a few things also the same thing here. Like you have a little bit of doji and decision candle here. You have a hard time really going up higher for the month of June. Why is that? Because it's still way outside the upper Bollinger Band on the
wow.
monthly, right? And like you said, like what you're seeing with the leaning chart, there's gravity kind of pulling it away from push up higher on the Bollinger Band. Very, very strongly expanded. Don't get me wrong. Like it's going to go up a lot higher over time. Just like what Tracker's saying was Elliott Wave is probably going to work out. I don't know exactly timing with that, but the Bollinger Band is very fully expanded. But right now, the upper Bollinger Band is serving as a little bit of a magnet to prevent price from going up higher. That's all, right? And then you look at the weekly, looks like it's ready, but the monthly is still kind of pulling back a little bit. And also the weekly, it looks like this whole trend right here may be a little bit exhausting because you can see the Bollinger Band on the weekly is starting to kind of close down a little bit over here, right? So it's probably wanting to consolidate or here, maybe back test the mean and the 20-week moving average and the Bollinger, sorry, the where support band is going to end up keep pushing up And then 20 would probably be a confluent zone where it bounced and it go up higher. And the Bollinger Band would be squeezing, ready for it to go up higher. That's kind of what I'm seeing. Again, I'm kind of like speculating the future, but that's what the trend is kind of telling me. If you look at Ichimoku again, you have a little bit of confluence over here too, at the conversion line, which is right around 20. So would it be surprising for it to come back down and test the conversion be going higher? No, I mean, that would be completely still a very, very nice bull trend. And if you're holding a stock, you shouldn't be worried about that at all. If you're looking at the monthly Ichimoku, the cloud isn't really there quite just yet. You just have some of the leading span up here that's kind of showing up over here. But just look at like whenever price is just way above the conversion line or the baseline, whenever price is way above that, like you're just going to end up getting punished by time or by price. Like there's really no way around it. And if you end up going for a parabolic bull trend, you can drag it along with it, but you're going to end up getting punished later. So I think it's actually going to be healthy for the bull trend to kind of just hang around the zone here a little bit, maybe wait for the monthly Bollinger Band to continue to expand before going up higher. It's not the end of the world. Like if that's the case, if it comes back down, and guess what? If it comes back down and back inside the upper Bollinger Band around 20 and a half, that would be a healthy thing. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here with Robinhood.
So if you don't own it, don't buy it. But if you own it, just hang on.
Yeah, I mean, like if you buy it, you have to know what your downside risk is. And tracker you just showed around 20.
Yeah.
I share that sentiment. If you want to be, and it's probably going to go up higher based on what the monthly Bollinger Band is saying. It's probably going to go up higher. I'm not really that concerned like in terms of longer term trend. You might experience some short term pain, but long term gain. If that makes sense. I'm also going to put the RSI here too. That's another reason as to why price is going to be having a hard time going up higher. You can clearly see that there is a bearish divergence. Sorry about my crappy GAN here, but you can see
That
it.
looks fine.
You can see a bearish
Boo.
ooh. 我不好，对不起. So I can
Just
see
joking.
that price has been going up. It's been really looking kind of exhausted up here, right? You have this bearish candle over here, and RSI also look exhausted. So you have a bearish divergence here. You're probably going to end up swinging some sideways to kind of hit. Hey, guess what I have down here around 20 and a half?
Yeah, there you go. There's your
Yeah,
support.
yeah. There's your support.
Confluence.
Yeah, so I think it's just basically need to kind of cool down because you have a bearish divergence because it looks like a little bit exhausted. So probably going to end up going down before going up. But it's just technical. Like I'm not worried about it. I'm going to unshare.
That was kind of a nice scan, actually. It had at least the horizontal line looked pretty good.
Tracker, your against nice too.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks.
Should I share mine? I
Sure,
guess.
go ahead.
Share yours,
MSTR
yeah.
now?
MSTR. We're going here. We're going fast here.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is not like us at all. I think you're going too fast, Kat. Usually you're a little bit longer, so you
Well,
gotta
you're
stretch it
talking
out a
about
little bit more.
SoFi being bearish, so I figure I'd just go fast.
Fair enough. So can you see my screen? Yeah,
I can
Yes.
see your
we're
screen.
good.
It's lovely.
We're good to go.
We're good to go.
So there's my linear scale again, and we can see perfectly how it's holding the blue levels very perfectly, especially at the top arc. Looks like it's now kind of flipped to support. And if that is the case in the weeks to come, then it should just continue higher. And maybe this will be some resistance, this angle right here. But the ultimate target still is going to be this level. It didn't quite get there last time because it got rejected by the lower arc and this angle. But the level up here still sits around like 2030. And then eventually up to the next one around like 2700 or so. But just holding this blue zone in general, even though it's like really large from this arc to this arc, it's just really, it's like a big zone, but it's really a bullish indicator because it's flipping this to support. And if we put on the Ichimoku here, we can see there's the confluence of the conversion line with exactly the blue horizontal line, almost exactly. So I think that should be maybe like the ultimate support zone, maybe like the 1370s, 1380s or so. Could have come back down here. That's a possibility, but just this whole chart looks pretty ready to build a higher base to continue higher. And one thing I want to show on this linear scale, because I was really jealous about how many lines Tracker has on his screen, so I got to add some more right here.
Wow.
I was just super jealous. So this is the GAN box, and this the GAN box I also teach in my course as well. And also this just shows more support and resistance of like also downward sloping angles as well. And you can see exactly why price didn't really get, especially right here, it didn't get to the blue level right here because of this gray angle sloping down, and also this angle sloping up right here was good support. But you can see all the support and resistance with this GAN box. And this one has been a big one from the 0.5 going all the way down. This one has been a really big support zone right here.
Man.
And if that holds, and there's like the confluence of this one going up and this one going down, like right here. So just this zone looks like a really good buy zone from like 1400 up to like maybe 1450 or so. And honestly, it's probably looking like it's gonna be going through this like range maybe for a while until maybe it gets above this green line, because you can see that green line is a lot of resistance. And after that, it could be going higher and higher. But we can just see perfectly how throughout time, all these angles sloping up, down, horizontal, whatever, how perfect they have been. And we can see exactly where support lies with this chart right now.
Beautiful. Yeah. What's your AA number? No, it reminds me of you remember the movie Entrapment, you know, like Kevin Zeta-Jones is like going around a bunch of laser. It reminds me of that. And I think Tracker is like Sean Connery. He's just there like sitting there and just watching. But anyway.
I love that movie. And it's Sean Connery too.
No, but it's beautiful. Like right now it looks like it's trying to wick underneath that curve right there, and it's having a hard time getting underneath of it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
actually,
so this is just proving it's a demand zone, really.
yeah, I'm not sure if it goes back down and tests the angle there. Yeah, it's a really great buying zone there. Looking at the chart, it's beautiful, man.
Yeah, maybe next time I'll add more lines just to compete with Tracker. So
yeah, you can't win. You can't win.
Well,
let me go up to my log scale chart though before I hand over the reins. I'm actually taking a longer time this time.
Because I'm making a joke about Kevin Zeta-Jones and Entrapment. That's why.
So here's the log scale chart, and this one's just beautiful too. Really, really clear and precise. The orange level was really important for a long time. And now where are we? We're at the blue level, and we can see it got rejected one time there, and now it's on the top side of this 45 and the blue level. But we can see some of the resistance above with the arcs up here, which is kind of coinciding with like the linear scale, why it's really not breaking out. So it could just mean to take more time. And like where all this intersects, like where the resistance will become less and less is like kind of like around election time, really, right? Right around here, like September, October, November. So it's like a lot of charts are coming to a point in later this year where the resistance is getting less and less, which is just, I don't know if it's coincidence or is it pre-programmed. So it just seems like it's going to be stuck in a range for probably throughout the summer, and then maybe things will just break through. But the ultimate target really for MSTR is 20,000 for me.
I got a quick GAN chart question. You see a lot more of these complete over time than I have ever.
Yeah.
Do they tend to repeat like history, repeat fractals as they go, as they approach the next arc? Does it ever like look like a previous arc? Or are they always
Well,
like
for Tesla, yes. I mean, we've seen that many times, how like in like 2016, whatever, uh, the orange level that I showed before on Tesla chart matches exactly what's happening really right now, but it doesn't really happen all the time. Like as we can see with this orange level right here, it was more of a range than this one right here. It just broke through completely, then back tested it in 2022, right? Like this was, everybody was like, oh, everything is going to zero, but no, it just back tested an arc, right? Everybody's freaking out about MSTR, and now it's just back above the blue level. Like everything is
we can imagine it
pre-programmed,
breaking
man.
through the double green lines then, and then having all that free space above that.
Yeah, but we can see how long it consolidated on this orange level for a time. So I mean, the
yeah.
same thing
We're
could happen.
just
The same
on
thing
there
could
now.
happen here. Yeah, it's just finally breaking through. But also, since this is log scale, these arcs will act as more stronger resistance. This one was kind of a resistance and support for a while, but this one just was a support. It was never a resistance, this blue arc. But the way this is shaping up, it just looks like it's not ready to break out yet until maybe later on this year. That's what I see.
Yeah, my chart doesn't look anything like yours.
No, it's fascinating. It's been respecting the angle and arcs and the horizontal zone pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're still saying a target for Bitcoin going to 175K minimum. So
Yeah.
yeah, so presumably like 20,000 may not be impossible. The only thing that I have against that would be with MSTR, just kind of like last cycle where it topped out before Bitcoin did, you know. Like Bitcoin ultimately made a little bit of a higher high in November 2021, but
Yeah.
MSTR never did, you know.
Well,
So I wonder whether or not it's going to be like getting to the top of the arc right there to like 4,000, getting everybody really excited, and they start rotating out from MSTR to other things. Like I don't know.
yeah.
But if Bitcoin hits 175, I can't see it staying at like 4,000. I just can't. So
No. Yeah, once it clears this range right here, it'll probably just start to take off. But clearing this range might take some time.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. This cycle might be a little bit longer than the last one, like based on looking at it. But
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
I mean, judging by how the altcoins are too right now, essentially,
yeah. They
they're a
look
lot of
like
them
they're
are starting to be like in a bear market again.
yeah, they look like they're the wave
So
two just
minor.
wants to be like, you know, it's just wants to keep going down. Anyway, um, yeah, Tracker, what you got?
Yeah.
I'm hastily
Tracker, tracker,
reviewing my
tracker,
chart
tracker,
here.
tracker, tracker, tracker.
Let's see.
You can do it.
All right,
What a clean chart.
let me show you. This is I'll show you what I came up with independently here, which is
It's an interesting angle.
yeah. So what I did was here is I tried to take it all the way back as far as I could
Yeah.
to get some angles that seem to actually somewhat somewhat coincide with what was going on, and then give me some room to maneuver above. So I actually drew this as a weekly chart. And so I don't know, now it looks kind of crazy. But I kind of took this as the wave start back to there. 1 second, I have to pull it quick. Oh no. This is a secondary wave. Hang on. I've got two nested waves in here. There we go. No, wait, that's the new one. That's that one. And here we go. Okay, so this one, again, I kind of played with the wave start so that I could get, I think I was trying to match it to the GAN a little bit. So I made this like if this was like a larger degree 1-2 off of the 2061 down to 1000. Yeah, this thing's been through the ringer.
Yeah.
Then we get these extensions like the 138, let's see, 764 take us to 2309, then back to 1659, and then up to 3561. I guess it looks a little crazy. I tried to do something from a much larger scale, but I don't think it's very useful. It's not useful yet. I should have done something closer. Kind of whipped through these. So I kind of hastily just now, after looking at Matt's chart.
You're changing your mind based on what you
Yeah,
saw.
exactly. Changed my mind. Let's I'm went
Yeah.
back a little farther. So
Yeah.
you know,
The power of persuasion.
exactly. I picked the wave start back here in the 32 range, and then wave one at 1350, and then one. This is again, this thing's really goes to the ringer. Oh, it's amazing. And then, so then I got no, not you. No. Yeah, this is the one I was just drawing. So off of the wave
hmm
2 support, it kind of looks like the larger degree one went way past the 764 and
Yeah.
came all the way to, this trickster fib of the uh
Yeah.
just almost the 1.5%, the 150% fib, just
Yeah.
slightly under it, and comes all the way back to retest the 764. And then so now we're at I expect the 2382 next. Maybe more interesting would be is if I did 5 waves in between these two. So let me set this up. Oops, don't move that. Now I'm taking longer. 2382. I'm going to come back to 150, 150. The one fib above that would be the 1618. Wow, this thing really likes to bounce around. Um, it certainly won't be boring holding the stock. Or what do I want to do? I want
Would you think that a wave three would be like
you.
larger than wave one proportionally speaking, though? In the greater wave three.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It typically would be.
It's typically,
Maybe
yeah.
instead of 2, 3, 2, 1.5. It's just because it comes down so far.
Yeah.
Maybe because this goes up. Things 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe instead of 1, 3, did I come to that 1, 2, 3, 4? This one comes so high. That's why it looks like it's not like this wave one should have
Yeah.
been like this, and the wave two should have been like this. That's why this wave three target looks so
Yeah.
weird. But I kind of get nervous when I see them like this because it
Yeah.
makes me think this could be an ending diagonal, and it reaches like
Yeah.
this wave three, and then everything just falls apart, and
Okay.
never like the wave four collapses. Kind of the same
Mhm.
thing that I was worrying about with CIFR.
I got an argument for you. I want to get to CIFR.
Like I kind of worry like an ending diagonal this way, and so then it just
Yeah.
goes diagonal this way.
Yeah.
And so you get a lower low, and then so you get overlapping wave four, overlapping the wave one,
Yeah.
because there's just so much energy. This went so hard up and then went so hard down. So
Okay.
I don't know. I'm going to say that my MicroStrategy charting isn't going to be much help yet. Yeah, let's just say it's this one failed.
No, I mean, like if you're looking at the waves, so if you're wave three right there, I can see it potentially being where Matt's arc is at. So you might end up getting rejected there, and then end up going back, test some stuff on down below, and then just pushes through and go up higher. I mean, it's possible.
So like if I make this the wave one and this the two, and then do a whole another extension, this is what I wanted to do. So off of this. So then we get, I was going to hide this one. No.
Meow,
Yeah, there we go.
meow, meow,
Meow, meow, meow, meow.
meow, 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 meow.
So it should be like this, and then this, and then that. Oh, well, I'm trying to do subways with this three. Probably hard to do on a weekly chart. We should do it on a daily chart.
Mm-hmm.
Not deeper than the ones. Something like that. It might get a high three.
Okay.
Then the four stays one fib above the one. And there's just
Okay.
sort of this gray fan arc coming this or fan coming this way from again. Yeah, maybe that. Or maybe the wave three does get pushed up higher, like you said. Maybe the
Yeah.
1618. Something like that. And
Okay.
of course, kind of it kind of would try to bisect all this.
Okay. So
Yeah.
consolidation a little bit longer before,
Yeah.
kind of like what Matt's saying.
Yeah. And then the alternation theory, of course, then if the wave two is longer, then the wave four
Wave
is
four will be
shorter.
shorter. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't have a really good
Okay.
handle on MicroStrategy.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right. You did anyone else want to talk
Yeah,
MicroStrategy?
sure. I'll share my screen. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing
Yeah.
mine. We get the right window. Nope. Wait. How is that? My alt
Yeah.
tab is failing me. Here we go.
Yeah. I
All
mean,
right,
like
you're up.
this is my kind of strategy chart. I mean, to be honest, I think when price is really underneath the monthly Ichimoku cloud, this is a monthly chart. You know, this is last cycle. This is the current cycle. When price is underneath the Ichimoku cloud over here, I thought it was going to take like a couple months to try and break above it. You know, sure enough, it got resistance over here, and then it came back down, back tested the baseline here on the monthly almost perfectly, right? And then it just ended up bouncing up higher, right? And then pushed through the slices through the cloud like here like it's butter after just getting rejected for 2 months. And then it went all the way up to close to like 1.618 Fibonacci level, got rejected, came back down, test some of the baseline and the conversion line over here. And it's just been kind of oscillating around here, maybe get back to like the 0.7, you know, A6 level, somewhere around there, right? And then end up finding support and it just wants to go up higher. That's basically what the Ichimoku cloud here on the monthly is saying. If you look at the Bollinger Band, I think it just went way too far, way too fast. It hit like, you know, very, very way outside of the Bollinger Band here, end up getting punished through time. But the Bollinger Band is still expanding here on the monthly. Like you can see that right now it's just kind of stuck in kind of, you know, using the upper Bollinger Band here serving as a little bit of a magnet. But the Bollinger Band continues to expand. The lower Bollinger Band is still all the way down here to like the negatives. Like, where is it? Where is it? Where to go? Like, it's right here.
Holy
So
crap.
yeah, so you're talking about Bollinger Band continue to expand. There's not really necessarily any sign for concern for like, you know, exhaustion. Although if the price is to go up higher, you might be running into a little bit of a monthly divergence over here, right? If price goes up higher, you're gonna have to basically push the RSI up to kind of run up on this bearish divergence. So there might be a little bit more sideways here. It's possible. But the Bollinger Bands that tells you that it might be ready soon, maybe over the next couple of months to retest the 1.618 over here, back around 2000, because it just looks like it's ready. Like it's gone sideways enough to consolidate after it went way too far, way too fast. It just looks like it might be ready. If you look at the weekly chart in the Bollinger Band, it's not quite too squeezy quite just yet. You know, it's still a little bit contracting, but it's not really like squeezing to the point it's going to like end up blowing up. We did have a very, very nice test over here, the 20-week moving average, you know, and this coincide with, I guess, with the Bollinger, not Bollinger, but with the Bollinger support band over here. With Bitcoin, Bitcoin ended up already touching the boomerang support band over here, the 20-week moving average. Like it already touched it. But interestingly, my strategy still hasn't really done that quite just yet. So there's a potential where even if Bitcoin goes up, MicroStrategy could end up going sideways or go down to touch that before going up, while money could end up rotating to maybe like some of the miners that are running up. It's possible. This is entirely possible. But it could end up having a little bit more sideways here for maybe for like another few weeks or a couple months, you know, kind of oscillate around here at the boomerang support maybe before going up higher while you continue to contract the Bollinger Band. So I can totally see it potentially going sideways here for a little bit longer. Yeah, I mean, just looking at the weekly Ichimoku, like you already pointed out, it's broken above the conversion line. Like it looks like it's ready to run, but it could potentially consolidate here for another few weeks before going up higher. I can also see that as well. But I don't think it's going to go that much lower below, you know, like this current level right here. I don't think it's going to go below like 1200 because of this very, very nice bottoming candle over here. Like it's just absolutely gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
If you do run up again on a weekly, you're gonna be basically running up on some bearish divergence, you know, but price can continue to go up in bearish divergence. I'm not that concerned about it, but I can see it being a little bit of a headwind here for a little bit. I don't know if I don't think you show like the MCDX plus, but like there's still a lot of whales, like in the 70%. Like, I'm not really worried about MicroStrategy It's just
Gotcha.
consolidating. There is a little bit of bearish divergence, but overall the trend is still higher highs, higher lows. So I'm not really that worried about it. I guess it's the story behind MicroStrategy. So that's it for me.
Sweet.
You want to move on to Apple?
Yeah, let me just pull this up real quick.
Yeah, you can go
Screen.
ahead first.
I just wanted to do the little introduction here. This one. So, the buzz this past week is that XLK is supposed to be rebalancing on Friday their portfolio, and right now they're heavier Apple and lighter Nvidia, and so they're going to have to sell Apple to buy more Nvidia.
Oof.
And so they're thinking that this could have an impact on both
Oof.
Apple and Nvidia, Apple down and Nvidia up. So with that idea in mind, I thought maybe we might
Oof.
try to take a look at maybe like a weekly or daily chart and see what we thought about
Oof.
those two possibilities.
Man.
Um, nah.
Man.
What I've got
Yeah. Yeah.
Apple is a potential. Let
Yeah.
me show you how I did this one. Again, a little creativity in my charting. In this case, I took the pandemic low as my wave start. And then this one up here is the 182-ish, and the wave two is 123.16. And so then we're right at the 764 right now, based on the pandemic low and this 1-2. Right now, we're at the 764. What the close on these are weekly candles, and the week closed out 212.49 after hitting a high of 220.20, just $1.20 under the 764. I don't know if it'll go like that extra dollar at the open on Monday or something, or tomorrow. Oh yeah, it's still the week, right? We're still so it feels like a Sunday, but is this the middle of the week?
I
Not
don't
sure.
know, man. I've been working all week, so I don't
Oh,
know.
I know.
Even today. But
I
anyway,
hear you.
yeah.
So the wave. Oh, where's my waves? Um, oh, they're hidden on this view for some reason. Here we go. So I'm looking for a wave two pullback.
Mhm.
Maybe Apple pulls back from 221 down back to 172.29.
Mhm.
Did seem to test this range out pretty good though. So maybe I'm wrong, and it only gets like the test back just comes to the 618
Yeah,
or 202.65.
possible.
This would be
Possible.
a shallow move down. So I don't know. Does that mean it has to go up to a little higher? It seems like it wants to go somewhere. That's quite a wick. Of course, we just had the earnings there too, right?
Yeah, there's some signs for exhaustion. I'm a little bit worried about this stock, but yeah.
Oh yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah.
The
No, but
daily
what's your higher targets there? So you got some even higher, yeah.
one still looks pretty good on the daily chart as far as the MCDX. But yeah, going to the weekly chart. So what I've got is Apple going to 300,
Hmm.
the test back to 250,
Yeah.
and then higher to 444.73.
Yeah.
Because I really like the way um, my, I'll pull this back so Matt can judge my Gann chart. But I kind of like the way the 2.5, these 50% fibs are like the trickster fibs. And a lot of times things exhaust. They can't
Hmm.
quite get to the 2618 after the
Hmm.
2382, and
Hmm.
they'll exhaust these 50% fibs in between.
Hmm.
And that's a lot of times when I see
Yeah.
these ABC retraces. So what do we have here? This one comes all the way back to
Yeah.
19 the 1980s.
the GAN probably helps you to time your Rayleigh waves better too, looking at like, the arcs and the angles. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one had, these ones look pretty good. This 2/1 was resistance, and the 3/1 was support. And then it went up to this orange one, and then up to this teal one, and then the arc kind of held it down a little bit, but tested right back to the same blue line here, which I believe is the, no, oh, what have I done here? Oh no, go back. Oh, you know what? I opened it and like it popped a gasket. It happens every now and then. Like it threw that whole thing off. All right, my Gantt chart just blew up. Sorry. That's all I got for Apple. Oh, and then so like an Nvidia, comparing that. What does it feel like to stand here? In progress and time, and we're I've been posting all week long that we're basically looking down the barrel of a new Manhattan project, but instead of working on a nuclear bomb, we're working on artificial superintelligence, and everyone's in a race to be the first one to have artificial superintelligence, and it really looks like they're going to be pouring everything they have. I had this beautiful illustration, a metaphor saying that it's like we're on the yellow brick road to Oz, and Nvidia is selling the bricks, the gold bricks. And so, yeah, it's just nuts. I did a 1-2 based off of this 1080 low in October of 2022. And then I tried this out. It just looks like an AB. You can see it. It really like to hang out around these two GAN fan lines.
Mm-hmm.
And it just blows through all these. It kind of tried to backtest this. I also kind of tried to want to I tried to play with the fan for a little bit to see if I could get these two lines to touch here and here, but I couldn't make it work. But look, these two, well, actually, I think one of these, where's my fan actually anchored? Oh, I deleted the fan on this one. No, here it is. Here's the fan. Yeah, I anchored it right on this one. This one automatically touches, but this one touches by, what Matt would call out the magic of the GAN. And look, trying to approximate the way this wave would go as I pull this out, I actually drew a curved line that goes through. Let me see if I can mark this. It goes through. This is just the first place I think it's going to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it just keeps going.
Yeah.
To 400 from where we are, and that's kind of what I see. This, and if you get really in here, like the reason I put the circle here is because it was where price passed through this line. Oh wait, I think I had it over here earlier. Maybe it looked different on a different time scale, but this is kind of the path that I see that we're on with Nvidia. It's like nothing. It's like no stock ever. It's like the invention of the Ford Motor Company, in the 1830. No, when was it? Anyway, and the advent of the assembly line,
Mm-hmm.
and then the invention of the computer, and now it's just they're pouring everything, all the money into generating more compute power, which will need more chips and will need more energy. So, invest in energy stocks and battery electric storage, because they have to all that. It's just so inefficient to have energy. Have to keep bringing up peak generators onto the grid all the time. So it's much better to have battery electric storage to keep your power demand smoothed out. And that's what I got.
Yeah, I mean, like if you think about your wave projection up to like the 400 is actually not like too crazy to think about because over the last 2 years it went from like like 400 to like 13,000, like 1,300. Like it went like 3x. So
Yeah.
who's there not to say that over the next couple of years it's gonna not gonna like triple again? Um, of course the market cap's gonna be huge, but like they're anyway. Like if you talk about fundamentals, I'm yeah, I can talk about it, but basically like all the earnings and top line bottom lines have just been absolutely amazing. But it doesn't matter what we say about the fundamentals. Like just look at the chart. It's a parabolic bull trend. It looks like it just keeps on wanting to go up higher. So, Matt, you want to share your GAN as well? I kind of want to see your
Yeah.
projection here too.
All right, I have
Yeah.
unshared.
So yeah, you're unshared. So I'm going to start with Apple, I guess, first. Are we doing both Apple and NVIDIA at the same
Yeah, why
time, I
not?
guess?
Yeah,
Let's just
Apple then Nvidia, just like I did.
yeah.
Back to back. Okay, so Apple, here we go. There's the 45 on linear scale here. You guys can see my screen, yeah?
Yep,
Yes.
yep, you're up.
So yeah, it's breaking above the blue level, right? Just like it broke above the orange level, just one fail swoop. So, I mean, it's doing the exact same thing here as it's doing here with this bullish engulfing candle here and the same thing right here, right? On the monthly chart. So since this GAN is really long, I'm going to do everything on the monthly chart. And I know you love that, Cat. So yeah. See, I don't hate the monthly chart always, right? It just depends on the chart.
I have to remind you sometimes. No, just kidding.
Yeah. But let's do the monthly Ichimoku here, and we can see like it's getting pretty extended from the conversion line too, but it's almost going to match up with the blue level at 192 right there. So
yeah.
essentially, this is going to be, in my opinion, the new support range, like the 190s.
Yeah.
Maybe 195 to maybe 200 or so.
Yeah.
That'll be the new support zone, is what I'm really seeing for that. And let's take this off. And let me just do the, well, I didn't take it off. So we can see that price is getting rejected here. And we can see why price didn't go down here, right? So if we use the GAN box instead of the GAN square, we can see this level, why it stopped here, and we can see why it's stopping right here. So let me just put on the GAN box here.
Oh, yeah, by all means.
Yeah. Where is it? There it is.
Woo!
And we can see right there.
I love it.
Yeah,
we can
that's
see right there.
actually yeah, that's
That's
amazing.
amazing.
That's
See, the
amazing.
GAN box stopped right here, and the GAN box stopped right here with the sloping down. So we can see more resistance levels with this GAN box than we can with the GAN square.
Yeah.
And we can see more support levels. And honestly, it looks like it's just going, maybe it'll get rejected here this month and maybe come back down to possibly retest like this angle right here, sloping down on the GAN box, and even possibly come back down to the 180 level, which is a little bit different than on the GAN square, which is like the 195 level. So like essentially this box is like, it has the Fibonacci's of length of, sorry, of time right here, the Fibonacci's of time for the 0.382, 0.5, whatever. And it has the Fibonacci's of the size of the box as well. So essentially they're a little bit different than the GAN square, but this is showing like a support level more of like the upper 180s, where the GAN square is showing more of like a upper 190s or mid 190s, right? So essentially this chart still looks bullish, and I don't really see it going really lower than this zone right here in the time being. So even if the rotation out of Apple into Nvidia happens, I don't really see too much of a decline, because ultimately it looks like price does want to go up to the 0.5 level up here, which is the 246 in the shorter term. But if we go to the log scale version here, let's go to log scale. Let's go here. So the log scale is showing one level at a time is getting hit as well. So the orange level got hit back here in the .com bust, and then came back down. And now the blue level was a resistance and then support, and then now it's gravitating to the green level, which sits around 329, right? Now, what I really see with Apple, I don't really see it stopping at the 329. Really, I see it going above quite a bit. And here's the reason why. So if I take off this, let's get rid of my arrow here. And if I go pull a Fibonacci from the .com to that low right here, what do we see? We see the full extension, the 4.236 at $450. And you can see how perfectly the log scale Fibonacci has worked. Like it went up to the 127, back down, then the 168, then back down to the 14, then up to the 2618, back down to the 272, and then it held this 3618 as a resistance and support, and now it's really looking like support. So it's probably going to gravitate up to the final extension of the .com bust, which is $450, and that'll be the ultimate target. Yeah. So once it gets to 450, then maybe everything will just break down quite a bit, maybe consolidate a lot longer before this gets broken, because a 4.236 on log scale, that took 24 years, or so far it's not even 24 years. It hasn't hit yet, right? So it could be 25 years, 26 years, 27 years. So once it hits this 4.236, it'll probably just that'll be the top for a long time, I think, for Apple, really.
Maybe that's when we get telepathy from Musk's
that's possible.
Neuralink.
Yeah, so you're saying that my teacher book is going to do okay? Okay, good.
Yeah, but it's just like when you look at this on log scale, you can see how well these log scale extensions have worked so perfectly. It's just unbelievable. Like it's
amazing.
It's gonna be a magnet, really, the 4.236.
Yeah, I mean, like just something simple like Fibonacci level. If you just keep drawing these things, like it's amazing how it fits. Yeah.
Simulation. No. So we can just go to Nvidia now.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go to Nvidia because I mean, it basically we want to finish the tail of the two, and then we'll fight about CIFR after that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll fight about CIFR. So Nvidia,
it'll be a short fight.
It's just a straight.
don't be like that. Fight longer. Anyway, yeah.
So Nvidia just is like a straight line up, essentially.
Yeah.
But we can still see how it's been matching these angles perfectly. And on the linear scale here, it looks pretty much like a magnet to get to this 145 level before any type of major rejection happens. So it'll probably just come up here maybe in the following weeks or months or whatever. Maybe hit there, then come back down and start to test some levels. Maybe even come back down to test the 45-degree angle there. And the Ichimoku on the weekly chart is still kind of sitting around this level as well, the 106 level. So getting quite extended there, but it doesn't mean it's going to slow down yet, because price likes to gravitate to the path of least resistance, and that's still currently up. And when we go to the log scale chart of this, it's breaking out. Oh, that's the monthly chart. It's breaking out of that level, right? So I think I showed this last time, how the orange level was hit, then the blue level was hit perfectly right there, and now we are breaking through on this green level, which kind of proves to me what I was saying last time, is this level, maybe the 120s, should hold as a support, like the lower 120s around here. So even if it does get to the 140s, it might roll over, retest the 120s, and then go back up and maybe ultimately get to the 200s or even the 300s, which depending on time, because you were saying what, 400 tracker or something, right?
Yeah, actually, I was going to say, if you go back to your linear scale, I'm not looking at your screen, I'm looking at my screen. So I've got this next wave one going up to 142.79 for my 764. And then it tests back down to 129.89. And then extends on up to 163.64.
Okay. Yeah.
then comes back to 150,
Yeah.
and
I
then
see
on
that.
up to 197.40. And then now I'm looking at your screen.
I can see that. Yeah, it actually fits the arcs and yeah, pretty well.
Well, here's
Where's that?
the next level is
Yeah.
192 up here. That's the
Yeah.
next level.
Yep.
Were you guys like telepathic? Like what? I mean, anyway.
Pretty good. So 192 would be my 223.6 is 192.47. So see if
Yeah.
I had
Oh,
your
yeah.
Gantt chart,
Yeah.
maybe it would
No,
have
look,
pulled it down.
it's 192.46. You can see right there.
Yeah.
I've got
You guys
192.47.
stop it. Get out of the room.
We did not compare charts beforehand either.
Yeah,
We
you
did
did.
not.
You guys totally
Completely
talked
different
before I
charts.
came
But yeah,
on.
then if you keep going up, I show
You're gonna fight this alongside with him too on CIFR, aren't you, Matt? No.
Well, I actually do have a 50-50 of both. So we'll get to that when we get to that. Yeah.
let me ask you this
Ooh, okay.
question. On your again, I'm not looking at your chart, I'm just looking at my chart. Does it look like Nvidia could pass through 283 at the end of October?
283. Well, if we go to the log scale chart, let's see, August. Yeah, like here's November right here, and that's like 250. So if it flips this bottom mark to support by then yeah,
put a
it
little
can go up.
circle on your chart, and then if this one is the one you use in October, let's see if it goes through that circle.
Yeah,
a little happy face.
November
Yeah.
11th or so. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Right All right, now I think 400, right around. Oh, that's crazy. December of 2024.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
You guys are going to time the market, okay?
Well,
right.
December of 2024 would be 370-ish. So
Okay.
that's pretty close to 400. Yeah.
Yeah. I got 400 right there. Nuts. All right.
Yeah.
Actually, it was November 18th, but my incredulity kind of pushed it to December. Also, I know you can't see days on, or you can see days on yours. All right.
Yeah.
So Apple, tiniest pullbacks, and Nvidia just keep surging up.
Yeah.
No matter what
this
other company is going to do.
Yeah, I mean, I see a bull case for both because, like, honestly, the Fibonacci for Apple right here does not lie.
Yeah.
It does not lie.
Yeah.
Well, now the Fibonacci disappeared. But anyways, everything disappeared.
I mean, it's also like, it's consolidated for so long too. Like it's not surprising that it breaks out to the next level for Apple. So
yeah, for sure.
I can do my Apple and Nvidia chart real quick,
Yeah, go ahead. I'll stop the screen share.
Yeah, and it's not going to be too long. I mean, basically, if you look at the weekly chart, I agree. I think it's just way overextended. You have a tweezer top right here. Like tweezing, these like little tweezers up here, these are pretty good tops. So, and you also have a pretty good top looking candle over here so far too, so it's way outside of weekly Bollinger Band. So whoever end up buying the top of these wicks over here are probably going to end up not having a good time short term. But you might end up, so I always say like you buy way outside of a Bollinger Band, even though it's expanding, it's like a really nice bull trend, but you end up buying these wicks over here, you're probably going to have like a hard time short term, but like short term pain, long term gain kind of thing, right? And if you follow the MCDX plus, if you look at just like the whales, or you'd be like, oh, there's a lot of whale momentum over here. So then he says like whales are in buy, right? No, not really. Like if you look at, he also has like this the EMA ribbon over here.
Yeah.
Which is like basically like 20 and 50 EMA ribbons. I think these are pretty similar to what his system is. If it's like way outside, like way above the EMA ribbon, like that's not a buy. Like that means that price can potentially gravitate down while the ribbon continue to expand, right? Like the whales would probably end up cooling down because things are just like way overextended, based on Bollinger Band and based on the fact it's just way away from the EMA ribbon. So I would probably not want to buy Apple here. Looking at the like conversion and the baseline, it's just way far away. Like Matt saying, just way overextended. So I'm not sure if I would want to like do that. If I pull up the monthly, like this big giant candle went way above the conversion line. Um, I mean, but if you look at the you look at Bollinger Band, I guess it's testing the upper Bollinger Band here too, right? So that's another resistance that is respecting. Most likely is probably going to go sideways, maybe go down to like 200, just like you're saying at this level down here, right? To consolidate before going up higher, um, which is not really anything like surprising because we were talking about like the 200 and 190 level down here as support. Yeah, I would not. I don't like Apple as a stock anyway, and I probably won't buy it. But I don't mind it doing well because teachable cues. So that's really Apple. Like I'm a little bit cautious, but long term, I believe in your all's projections. I don't have any problems with it. Nvidia, this is one stock that I would not really bet against. Even looking at the monthly being like way outside Upper Bollinger Band, it has shown us that it can stay outside Upper Bollinger Band for like months and months at a time and still not be completely exhausted and still going higher. So I would not bet against the trend. Just when you think that the lower Bollinger Band couldn't go down any lower, yeah. Just when you think like, oh, it's consolidating over here, right? So it's probably going to end up like looping around, right? No, I'm going to drag all the way down here. I'm going to show you it keeps on going down.
Oh, wow.
Like there's no trend exhaustion here. It looks like it's just this beast just wants to keep going higher. Like, this is absolutely incredible to watch. And if you also look at the weekly too,
Asymptotically approaching the singularity.
yeah, like it just wants to go higher. And you can go for
In the
week.
future, all stocks will just be NVIDIA.
How many weeks did it close
All the
outside
SGX.
the upper Bollinger Band on the weekly, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, nine. Nine candles way outside the upper Bollinger Band, right? Okay, so you take a break for like, 8, 9 weeks. Here we go again. It's just ridiculous.
4 weeks of
It's just absolutely ridiculous in terms of what it's doing. So I'm not gonna. I do have like ticker symbol called USD, which is like the double leverage SMH, this for the semiconductor field. So I'm probably not going to end up selling until I see some signs for weakening of the trend, which basically for Nvidia means that the low Bollinger Band starts to come back up. I showed you that before. Whenever you start seeing a low Bollinger Band come back up, that's a warning sign. Okay, maybe trend's getting a little bit exhausted, be a little bit worried, right? Low Bollinger Band started to come back, be a little bit worried, right? Right now, it's like there's no sign for it, man. I mean, like, what is this? So, so I continue to monitor the lower Bollinger Band for Nvidia. That's all I got to say about it. I'm gonna get up. So
That's a great. I love it that you keep showing that chart every week, and we can just remind us where the Bollinger Band is, which way it's facing.
yeah, because you guys already have a lot of great tools, like Fibonacci levels, elite waves, GAN. I feel like I'm more like a trend guy, so a trend cat. So I tend to like to follow things that are telling me what the trend is doing. Like Bollinger Band is a great way to tell whether or not things are overexpanded, whether or not you're gonna end up getting punished for things. But yeah, I mean, you're also able to tell from Bollinger Band to see what previous behavior was and to compare to what you think is going to happen next. So
Let's see. Oh, I must have the default change to these.
50-50, huh?
Yeah. So the thing I'm worried about, again, it's like I was saying with
Yeah.
which stock I was just talking about, where I saw this, but I start to worry when I see what looks like, it's a spike up, and
Yeah.
it's like an ending diagonal up and ending diagonal down, and a spike up and spike up, down, up, down, and
Okay.
it just feels like it might do it one more time here, and like run up real high, like run higher than it's supposed to, run higher and faster, and then like get sort of stuck here at this 100% fib, and then push back down and test this again. So what I was saying, I think I've got, oh, I just worry about that. I've got this call out that I gotta on here. It's way over here. My advice was that if you are bullish on CIFR and you get into it, just look out, because after it gets to 707, it really shouldn't retrace back below 591. So maybe, I mean, it could do a big oscillation, but I would maybe think about at least a mental stop under 591, maybe 575, and then if this comes to pass, then you'll be stopping out before you it gets too much damage done. Maybe back all the way to 403 again. But you know, if things go well and things just keep holding up and going up, then I see this could go to 1386. It's my fifth wave target for cipher mining. And of course, then that whole thing just kind of falls over, makes larger degree 1, 2, and keeps going if
Yeah.
it continues its bullish run. And I do see that man, it's got the whale seal of approval here.
Yeah.
No retail, 87% bankers.
So what's, I mean, I can see your case, like short term, it could go up and go back down lower and form a little
That was
higher
kind
low.
of mostly it. Just looking at it like
Yeah.
on a short term.
Man, I thought you were like an ultra bear. I thought you were going to draw
No,
your
no, I'm sorry. Like
try
I
and
said, it
arrow
was gonna be
down
a
to the
short
negative.
argument.
You're building it up.
I just worry about what I see when I see this kind of price action.
Yeah.
I call it the Cubert snake. Remember, your brother played Cubert in the 80s? Well, maybe you guys are too young, but there's this like the snake, and he's kind of he chases Cubert around the pyramid, and he's got this sort of coily tail,
Yeah.
and this you get this over and over again. So this like does that, does that, and so I just worry it's gonna end up the whole
Yeah.
thing
I'm
coiling
not
into
young.
this, and
I'm
then
not
ending
young.
up
I'm just foreign.
going
So I
right back
don't
down
know.
again.
Yeah. I'm just too Cantonese, so I don't know.
You're just a cat. Cats don't play video games.
Yeah. Cats don't watch
All right,
TV.
show me your cipher chart. I'm gonna.
I want Matt to give the 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah, and then yeah, and I'm gonna go full bull. No, I'm just kidding. It's I can see a scenario playing out actually.
All right, Matt, we can see your screen.
Okay, yay, you can see me.
Yay.
So on the linear scale, I see it being really bullish, right? And especially when you add on the Ichimoku here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cloud and the conversion baseline, everything, it looks really bullish for
Yeah.
the Ichimoku. So I can see on linear scale here how it wants to continue up to like the $6 or the $7 range. But there's still like it's still not making really higher highs from here. It's
Yeah.
still wicking to this level a lot. So that just means that there's a lot of sell pressure up there. And when I go to log scale is where I get the other 50, where like you can see exactly what's going on.
Oh yeah.
And that's the first level.
Yeah.
Right. And so this is why I'm not super bullish on it yet, because it's at resistance and I don't like to buy resistance. So it's like, honestly, if it can't break above this, like this week or next week or whatever, then it's probably gonna go maybe back down and test the arc in the $3 range again, which could be a bear situation. But if it does get there again, then I'll be like, yeah, that's a great place to buy for a continuation higher. But we can see perfectly how it lost this angle as a support, really, and now it also is getting still rejected by this orange horizontal line, which kind of proves to me that it's really not ready yet, unless this week can just like close above. But then you still have the resistance of this angle above, which still might not make a higher high. So that could just be a fake out for it to roll over as well. So this is why the linear chart looks pretty bullish, but the log scale does not really yet. So that's my 50-50 case.
That's not bad. I thought you guys are gonna like destroy the stock or something. I mean, that's not.
It was just clickbait, you know. That's all it was.
Well, it worked for me. No,
it got you to tune in, right? Yeah.
And we held it to the end, just like you're watching the news and something in your house could be
Yeah.
killing you. Find out tonight at 10. And they're like, wait until like the 10:28 of the half-hour news to show you the story.
Yeah, exactly.
I do have a counter argument for a lot of these actually. Like if you let me show my
Yep, we can see now, Pat.
Yeah. I'm gonna zoom in onto the weekly chart here. I'm gonna look at the candles themselves. Right? Hammer. Well, actually, hammer, 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 hammer,
Amazon.
hammer, hammer. Like there's a lot of demand on its way up. And this big thing right here, it just looks like a smaller cup after a big cup. Like this whole thing over here looks like it's
Yeah, I can see that.
reaccumulation, right? It looks like reaccumulation. So what you're seeing here, whenever price goes up, the buying volume is up. Whenever price goes down, the sell volume goes down. Whenever price goes up, volume is up. Whenever price goes down, volume's down, right? You see a trend, right? Volume up, right? So as far as I'm concerned, this whole thing right here looks like reaccumulation. And I do agree with you. Like, there's no doubt that 5 to 550 is going to be a very strong resistance. I think it's very, very clear that's the case, right? But it's just like Jack Nicholson in The Shining before it knocks over the door. It keeps knocking, it just keep knocking faster and faster and faster and faster and trying to knock the door down, right? And you're having more and more energy that's being pushed up, 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 trying to push the door down, right?
Mm.
So the more you test the resistance zone over here, the weaker it's going to get. And I think that it just keeps on doing it and doing it and doing it. It looks like it wants to break over. If it doesn't, I think the downside would be very limited, just like what what you guys are saying, with the Ichimoku cloud being down here. I think $4 is going to be a pretty decent support. It could go down to the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud, which I guess, maybe even lower. Maybe that could touch your arc right there, right? But even then, like it just looks like it's trying so hard and so hard. Sorry for the terminology. I don't, you're using the word hard, but this is what I'm seeing here too. CIFR, this is the Fintel.io data in terms of whales coming in. Like there's a lot of institutional buying for the month of June.
Mm.
It's just, this fits what we're seeing. I mean, institutional ownership is still not great. It's like still around 20%, but there's been a huge change. So it fits. Like you can see why it pushes on the Asian move just keeps on pushing up because there's a lot of buying pressure. There's a lot of supply up here, but it's getting eaten up. Like it's getting eaten up like Pac-Man. Like it wants to break the range.
Waka
I'm going to
waka
show
waka waka
you
waka.
exactly. And then on the monthly, I have to show the monthly, right? It broke back above the conversion line after a very nice bullish cross. If you look at the Bollinger Band, you can see that like it's just been hugging the 20-month moving average on the way up, right? And it looks like it wants to get magnet to the upper Bollinger Band over here, which is going to be the resistance zone up here. It looks like the Bollinger Band, upper Bollinger Band wants to continue to expand, allowing the price to go up higher. And it looks like it's just been kind of building up a whole base over here above the 20-month moving average for a whole year. So a lot of energy has been built up, and whales have been increasing over time, right? Just like the Fintel data I was just showing you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bullish momentum that are coming behind the scene. Even if it goes down to like 4 or like 3 point something, I agree. Like this is like absolutely great buying zone. Although I'm not sure whether or not we necessarily have to do that because it's been ranging over here for like more than a year. So that's really the major thesis. If you look at a weekly chart, I'm gonna show a couple other things too. I'm gonna show you what I think about the whole sector real quick, and this doesn't take more than a couple minutes. Weekly Bollinger Band, what is it doing? Well, the 20-week moving average is pointing up, together with the Bollinger Band support band. It's been serving as pretty good support over here overall. Like the 20-week moving average has been really, really good support to push price up a lot higher. And technically, it's not really squeezing, but the Bollinger Band is getting a little bit more narrow too, right? So it does make me wonder whether it's building up a case for like a stronger move, trying to push about this resistance zone because it can't stay in a range forever. A couple other things I want to show you too, like this chart over here, it really reminds me of Irene before it broke out. I'm going to turn off the Bollinger Band here. It really looks like Irene before it broke out. You see this very important resistance zone over here? You have like a little bit of support over here and it broke down, right? And then back
Yeah.
test here, back test here, back test here around the $8 zone, rejected, 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 but it keeps on doing it. It keeps on trying. It's like Forrest Gump, it just keeps on trying. So it looks very similar to this morphology over here. So I can see that it might follow Irene, break above this resistance over here and just end up going up to the next level. I can see CIFR potentially doing that soon if it ends up following the entire sector and go up to the next level, which is going to be maybe around like $7 or $8 and then maybe around $10. So I can see it potentially doing that. Another thing that also looked very similar was like with Unitera, with all very, very similar morphology, a little bit of support zone over here that turned resistance here for like a whole year, you know. And it looks like it just when it breaks, it just breaks, you know. So I can't really say that you know, and same thing, like it was Bollinger was like kind of squeezy before it broke out, you know. I do want to show one more thing. I think that miners may be looking pretty bullish pretty soon. And look at the Bollinger Band for clean spark. Look at this. Look at this. Like the sphincter is closing up real close. Like looks like something's gonna explode pretty soon.
The
I
sphincter.
look at it. Like
Yeah.
doesn't
It looks like it's
Just
about to
rename it, yeah.
skew.
yeah, it's the
Yeah,
sphincter. Yeah.
and
It's a,
the 20-week moving average is
it's
the
pointing up.
you know, is the
Yeah,
whole.
Bollinger Band support pushing up. So the whole sector is going to go up. Like Mara is kind of like, you know, but it's still trying to reclaim the Bollinger support band, right? So the whole sector is looking like it's playing catch up. You know, by the way, Irene's a little bit over the upper Bollinger Band there. I'm a little bit worried about Irene, but anyway, but I think that if the whole sector is going up, I think cyber is probably going to get a good case. If it ends up coming back down, back test like the Boomerang support band, the Ichimoku Cloud, like whatever. Like I don't care. Like if you want me to buy cheaper for longer, that's fine. I don't care. So that's my thought for cyber. So we have a chart request for AMD. You guys want to do
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, I got one ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so this one is more of like a 50-50 as well for me. So on linear scale here, we can see the obvious resistance and rejection of this 45-degree angle and the blue level right there. It's still closing below, right? These are monthly candles because it's way back from 1975 or 1974, right? So essentially, we can see how this orange level was tested multiple times, even went up to the 45 and then back down to the orange level. But now we're kind of doing the same thing where this blue level is getting tested. Now it's like up and down, but then you can see the confluence of resistance with the angle, the arcs, and the blue line there. So it could take a while to break out. And if you look at the Ichimoku here on the monthly chart, it's still battling that conversion line too. So
Yeah.
we'll see if it can close back above that. But the solid support has been the baseline down there, so that's good, around the 140s. So that looks like a pretty decent buy zone. I mean, could it go back down to the cloud and the low 100s? Possibly, but I don't really see that as happening. I just think more time is going to be needed before it can break out. And when we go to the log scale is where I get the really bullish scenario here, right here. Right, you can see right here how it's trying to flip this resistance to support. And essentially, we can see from the beginning of time, all the levels. So the orange level first was right there. Then now the blue level was there for many decades, right? Just a long time at that blue level. But now we're finally at the green level right there. And when we zoom in to it, it's back testing that level on the monthly chart perfectly right now. So which was a previous all-time high zone as well. So that's a confluence of events. And if this level can't hold, then yeah, it should bounce and go up to the arcs and the 400s, maybe even the 500s or 600s up there in the future. But getting to this level and actually trying to flip it to support is looking really bullish on log scale. But we can see on linear scale how there is resistance, and that's why it's not really breaking higher in this zone, because there's some resistance. So is it going to shoot up to these arcs immediately? No, probably not. There's probably going to be just more ranging for quite some time before it can finally break above. But essentially, this log scale chart looks really good, but the linear scale looks like it's going to take more time.
Nice.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I can share mine too. Yeah. I mean, the bottom line is let me see. Am I sharing mine yet? No, I'm sharing mine now.
Yeah.
The top right there is AMD. The bottom right there is Bitcoin. I rest my case. I'm
Enough
done
said,
talk
right?
Yeah, I'm done talking
Enough
about
said.
AMD. Like if you're bullish on Bitcoin, I mean Bitcoin does look a little bit more bullish in terms of like the conversion line and baseline, but like if you just
Yeah.
get rid of these fancy indicators, like if you just get rid of these and you look at a bull in Japan, like it looks like a very, very similar chart. It's following very similar liquidity pools, and it's just not as bullish as Nvidia, but like what is, so I rest my case. I don't have anything else to say about AMD.
Mic drop. Yeah.
Well, I do have something interesting to share, which kind of sounds a lot like what Matt's we got. This is one I drew this NVIDIA, I guess in May. Let's see. So you can see my screen here. I'm looking for AMD to be in a long period of consolidation where it will be stuck between 220 and 150 for a while. I'm looking for possibly this consolidation triangle. And once it'll get tighter and tighter. And once the range is somewhere between 201 and 170, then I think it can break out. But that could take a while. Let's see if I can. Well, my charts don't predict timing very well, but if I say that I've drawn this almost in 2025, maybe 2025 is the year that it can kind of get out of this rut. That's all I've got for AMD, other than my target is in the 310 to 340 range after this. As the next level.
That's a very long period of consolidation compared to what Nvidia is going to do.
Yeah. They're different companies.
They are different companies, and the fundamentals are not as good. You're not wrong.
It's like Matt showed. Like they spent a lot of time at this level, and then it took them a long time to get out of this level, and then they did kind of have started breaking through. Look, it does kind of look like Bitcoin. That's amazing. I put them next to each other like that before.
So you're saying that Bitcoin is going to consolidate for another 2 years?
I hope not.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, Bitcoin could still consolidate. I mean, no, sorry, Bitcoin could still tear up, and then AMD could still be consolidating that whole time because no one's really using AMD chips for mining
Yeah.
Bitcoin anymore.
Yeah.
Their utility is going to be, it'll go to I guess lower end AI stuff.
Yeah, but there's still going to be a lot of demand for like lower end AI still,
Yeah.
I can still see them benefiting from the whole trend, even though like the biggest company and the most expensive, the richest companies, they're not going to use AMD chips, but you're still going to need chips for lower end stuff. So
Can you believe
Oh yeah.
what's going on there, Matt? What was that about?
No, I'm agreeing with you. Oh yeah.
Oh, I was like, did you know your mic was muted or was on? It's not muted.
It's not like I'm going, oh yeah.
Matt's been trading stocks longer than I have. But do you remember this? This is the VIX. This is the volatility index, 1 week candlesticks. I
Yeah.
remember, when we'd have like 30s for the VIX, and then like remember back here, because of course they keep changing the numbers over time, but back in the after the .com and after the housing crisis, people used to love to short the VIX. That was like a thing they would do. You just short the VIX and you just collect all this money. Every time there's a big spike, you just short it and you just wait.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it's still working. I guess
Because it can stay
that's
underneath
the
20
pandemic
for
right
like
there.
years at a time. Like that's whatever. Yeah, it's true.
I can't believe how low it is these days. Like
Oh, it can go lower.
seems,
It can go lower.
I
It can
know.
always go
Look,
lower.
it just seems nuts.
Yeah. Lower nuts. It can go lower.
Anyway, that just I guess more, more fodder for the bullish. Things can go higher for longer, much higher for much longer
Yeah.
than you think.
Yeah, I mean, it can
The
stay
argument.
underneath 20 for like years at a time. That's what happened from like 2020, sorry, 2004 all the way through like 2007. It was just like less than that for like years. Same thing from like 2012 all the way to like 2014, 2015. It's just like less than that for years, you know. So
Okay.
um yeah, follow the trend. Like, you know, I don't know. Like you can also see there's a trend line of the VIX that like I think go from like 2017 at the bottom part of it, from like 2017
Oh,
to like, you know, 2021 or so, and it end up breaking underneath of it, you know. I don't know if you
right there, like that.
yeah, there's like a trend line, like a diagonal trend line. If yeah, I mean I can share mine and show you real
Okay,
quick.
here, let me get rid of
Let me
the.
let me see if I know how to do that. Share screen.
Do it. Just do it.
Yeah. So if I just draw a trend line, like I was following this trend line too back in 2000, you know, whatever, 2020, 2021. You can see that whenever this trend line breaks, like it is try to back test, fail to get back above, you know, like it's pretty clear. So um and when I was seeing this, like a lot of people end up, I think I had like maybe like 500 followers or something like that. I was talking about it, and like next thing you know, like a couple weeks later, people start talking about it, like yeah. And then you are also, if you just look at the Ichimoku too, like it does that, like it gets underneath the Ichimoku for like years until it breaks back above, you know. And then it breaks down and then end up, you know, staying above the Ichimoku here for like years. And right now, I think we're at the phase where we even like getting rejected by the conversion over here. This is a very bearish trend, you know. It's looking pretty bearish. So,
It's almost
um,
like when we get these things like the pandemic or the housing bubble and
yeah,
the dot-com boom, and we just we get a reset. We get a
yeah,
reset, and then things can just run and run and run for a while,
yeah.
for
And
years, like
then
you said.
And then people keep talking about rates. Like people keep talking about, oh, you know, you put cash, you used to earn like 5%. Well, it's exhausting. Like it looks like it's trying to get underneath the conversion here for like a year and a half. It's like it
Yeah.
looks like the trend's really exhausting, right? And if you look at you look at like a little bit of let me see, what does the Super Ichi Cloud show? It didn't really show that. But it just looks like it's just exhausting. It wants to touch the cloud and it wants to just roll over. Like it's not, yeah, this is not bullish. But anyway, yeah, I'm done sharing. So
I think that was
Did
a
somebody talk about? Did somebody mention Palantir too as well, or no?
we could talk about Palantir.
I can always talk about Palantir.
Yeah, we love
Yeah,
Palantir.
I can always talk about
Yeah, I think.
Palantir.
Oh yeah, you said Garcia is more excited about Palantir than Cat. I mean, I guess we can talk about it if you want.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it last week, and certainly things have gone up a lot. We can talk about it real quick.
But
Yeah,
things are changing on my
yeah,
gain, so I
yeah.
can
Let's show
show you
it.
real quick.
Let's show it.
Yeah. So yeah, essentially it's breaking levels now on my arcs. So if it closes the week above, then that could be a really good sign for a continuation higher and higher and higher, right? And it held basically the conversion line and the baseline pretty well. And now it's just gaining momentum. So we'll see where this week closes at, but this does not look bearish at all. It looks really good. And for continuation up to maybe the 28th, 29, 30, and ultimately the blue level around 33 on linear scale here. And if
Yeah.
we go to log scale, oh yeah, there's my coin log scale. Looks really bullish.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
I've got a Palantir.
And there,
Sorry.
yeah, here's the log scale. We can see the confluence of the 618 held perfectly right there of that Fibonacci.
Beautiful.
Also, and the
We're gonna wait.
from the high here.
I'm
And
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
so
I'm
it's
sorry.
breaking the orange.
I messed
What's
up
that?
your screen. If you could just go back like 40 seconds of that. I messed up your screen. I can see it
Oh, you
now.
did?
You're back on.
Okay. So where do I start? Like on log scale or go back?
it's a
Go back to
0.618 is a very good support, and it looks like it's bouncing
yeah,
above
yeah.
fib level.
Yes. So now when we even take off the fib here, we can see it's even breaking again above this orange level, which is in confluence of the linear scale, and which is really good. But there's still going to be maybe some resistance of this angle above, maybe it's like 27 or 28 or so.
Yeah.
So it might need more time for it to get into the 30s. But we want to see candles close above this level, and then just make it become support. And then once like 2450 becomes support, then it's just going to keep going and going and going. So then ultimately the next level on log scale is $100, right? But that'll probably be in the near future, maybe 2025 or 26 or so. Yeah.
Just for comparison, the all-time high is $45 on Palantir.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. That's correct. Yeah.
So what's the orange level? Your orange level line, what's that value again? Is it 2520?
2450 about?
2450?
Yeah, 2460.
Okay.
2460. Which I think lined up with Danny's number last time we talked about it too.
Yeah, it's like a big volume shelf. Like there's a lot of volume history there, which makes sense because that's where price was kind of oscillating between 2020 and 2021 for like a whole year. So,
and it's interesting too. So like in time, the previous all-time high in January 2021, if you line it up on the chart here with this angle and that arc, it kind of sits like in November of 2024, which is the election time, right? So there's like more confluence about election time than I was mentioning before, you know.
I want to make a request. That's awesome. I want to make a request for Bullish Japan on the weekly. I want you to see something.
All right.
I posted about this, but you see what I mean. Look at how look at the sphincter.
Yeah, nice sphincter. with the hole right here. Nice.
And the hole looks like it wants to push things up.
Just push it out and up, yes.
Yeah, it looks like it wants to push things up. Can it consolidate a little bit further? Sure, but you're talking about squeezy time here. Like that's pretty squeezy. So
I'm gonna put a circle here too for the future, just to see if election time does happen. So yeah, we'll see. But
we're gonna do some video edits, you know, to take out some clips here and like, you know, say, hey, look, you know, look what Matt said.
Yeah, seriously. Listen to it. You got any news updates for Palantir, guys, or no?
I wanted to show you one quick thing with Palantir where just a little area of action here.
It's never little. It's always huge.
Go big or go home.
So I think I'm tracking a little triangle here. Big little triangle. So after hitting 2750, it like ran up to 2750 and then came back down really fast to check out the support at 2018. And so now I'm tracking this triangle possibly here and see how it had this wick right up here. That happened, actually, I was like right at the end of a day on May 6th, and then right back down again. So I'm tracking this resistance line on top and a support trend on the bottom. And I think we had this breakout. Well, we did have this breakout on yesterday, on Tuesday. And so I'm looking for maybe it pulls back a little bit and then breaks up a little higher, maybe to 27. And then if it can't get higher than 2750, it runs back down again to just freak everyone completely out.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't make a lower low than 2018, but it could come right around the scary 50% fib around 2078. Go down, back up, and then down again to make it really look like, you know, this forms a new trend line and then it breaks that trend line. Oh, well, actually, the way I've got it drawn, it's a double bottom off 2018. And then the whole thing just absolutely launches after that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of playing it like this. I sold my Palantir because you know me, I'm always trading this stuff. Yeah, I sold my Palantir here. I'm gonna watch it go down, and I'll buy it back here and try to ride this up again. And then if it can't get higher than 2750, if it starts to peter out here, I'll sell it again and just wait and see how far down it falls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's that. And so 2450 was what you had for the orange line. And so it's right right about here where my 76.4% fit is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, like 2450, 2460. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it takes. Remember Mr. Mom? That was the 110, 110, whatever it takes. He's talking with about electricity stuff. All right, well, that's all. I'm gonna stop sharing. Did you want to talk about Palantir?
I'll share some. Yeah, just real quick. Yeah. So I talked about this whole thing before about what they call like rising three methods, where's that picture? Yeah. So basically you have a big giant green candle and or if the bears spend the next consecutive few months trying to break underneath this big giant green candle or unable to do
Yeah.
so, the bulls will smell it and they just basically reverse everything and just keep going higher, right? So well, okay, got rid of advertisement there. So I shared that. You're seeing that working out so far, right? Big giant
Yeah.
green candle. 1, 2, 3, big giant green candle engulfing these, right? It's a pretty bullish formation. Like there's no doubt to me. So I'm going to show you another thing too. Like this is Palantir chart up top. Down here is what is MicroStrategy, right? Look at how similar these charts are. Just look at how similar these
Yeah.
charts are. Like it spanned a whole like 2020, 2021, a whole year underneath the zone over here, getting and even like the hammer like these hammer candles over here, like they're very similar. These two charts are looking very similar technically. And I think if you are talking about trying to break above the zone over here to spend a whole year, which is what MicroStrategy did over here, try to break above the zone over here, except MicroStrategy was able to break above this after like a couple months, whereas Palantir required a little longer period to do that, right? But once you're breaking above the zone, I think it's going to go MicroStrategy. Like it's going to go some pretty crazy prices and go maybe even going over like all-time high within maybe late 2024, even like early 2025, I think is possible. Because this is a really strong resistance zone that has been a long time trying to break above. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm seeing. If you look at Ichimoku Cloud here, like for MicroStrategy back in December, I was just looking at MicroStrategy, looking at Ichimoku Cloud. I was like, yeah, I don't think it's going to end up breaking it over here. It's probably going to consolidate over here for like a couple of months, right? That's why I posted back in December. And then sure enough, like next thing you know, it just dropped back down. Like we just talked about this, and next thing we just pushed back above, right? I think Palantir is trying to do the same thing, just back testing some of this stuff underneath. In Palantir's case, just trying to back test the monthly Tenkan or conversion line. It did that once, twice, and three times. Range bound between here for about 4 months and probably pulling a rising three. I don't know whether or not it's going to break above over here for the month of June, but so far it's looking pretty bullish. So that's all I have for Palantir.
Cool.
Yeah.
So is that it, or we have more requests?
No, I think it's it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably a good time to call it night. It's been a couple of hours.
And this is our
Almost,
longest
yeah.
one yet.
The last one was 2 hours too, man. This one's
Well,
pretty good.
with Danny
Yeah.
was like a special though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but we went through a lot of stuff. I feel like it's been pretty productive. So
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, not reproductive, but productive.
Well, the sphincter just it doesn't work that way.
I'm sorry, guys. I mean, like, if you have me, you're gonna have to listen to these cheesy jokes like Catherine Zeta-Jones and like Sean Connery. Like, I don't know.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, she's awesome.
She,
Her and Famke Jensen, she's another favorite action starlet of mine. She played Phoenix in the Sony Pictures X-Men movies.
oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, take us out, Kat.
Thank you for joining, and we will try to do this again. I think next week we say Wednesday again, and after that we're gonna kind of change things around, maybe to like a Tuesday or something. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how
That's
it
my
goes.
fault, guys. I asked them to move it just one night over.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but we're planning on doing this as far as I know, right, guys? I mean, I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah. This is
Yeah,
it's the best time.
I like the weekly basis.
yeah, yeah. Cool. Let's do it again.
All right. Thank you guys,
All right.
everybody, for watching. I'm the Tesla
Yeah, thank you,
Tracker,
guys.
Great Matsby, and Crypto Cantonese Cat.
And Ismail. Take
See
care,
you next
guys.
time.
Have a good one.
Meow, meow, meow.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.